She is one of the most beautiful, powerful, invited, and successful women in the world. For the music field, she is a mixture of massive brilliance and Cristiano Ronaldo obesity. She has 32 statuettes from main World Music Award, Grammy, and is considered the most awarded singer up to this moment. She has a fortune estimated at more than $500 million. And yet she carries an emotional block of need of approval. I'm Danilo Leão de Souza and this is Ranigans, a channel dedicated to fathers and mothers who want to train their children to be part of a generation prosperous people. This video is to talk about mega singer Beyonce's emotional block. A few days ago, the film about Beyonce's last tour called Ranigans was released. While my wife, who is a huge fan of the singer, was reading a report about the film to me, a statement from Beyonce caught my attention. Open quotes. I spend a lot of my being a general people pleaser and ultimately I don't give a shit. Have you also spent a large part of your life trying to please people? So, it is quite possible that you and Beyonce certainly carry an emotional block called the need of approval. If you don't know what an emotional block is, it doesn't matter. I will explain it to you now. Emotional block is something that makes you act in a way that is contrary to your really want. Emotional blockage is everything that holds you back, limits you, and that you cannot free yourself from. In other words, an emotional block is a lock that you have in your soul, in the non-tangible part of yourself, more especially in your subconscious mind. You know, when you say you are going to change a situation in your life that you don't like, but it seems like you don't have the strength to do it. For example, you say you are going to stop smoking, but you never stop, or worse, you stop for 2 months and start smoking again. You say you are going to dedicate yourself more to some activities and you unable to develop it. You want to stop watching porn, but you can. You blame everyone for everything that's wrong in your life, and at the same time, things continue to go wrong. These are all effects of a cause. These are the effects of a type of emotional blockage. Let me explain. Your brain is a fantastic machine, but it is automatically programmed to save energy. So when you were a child, situation happened in your life of which you were not aware of how to react them. A teacher ridiculed you in front of your friends. Your father left your house and abandoned you. Your mother disapproved of you in a situation and said that you were not capable or worthy. Or simply, you lived in a house where everything was regulated and counted on fingers. And when faced with this situation, you didn't have a ready response to combat. So what your brain did, it put an emotional block in your mind. But it did it to protect you because it thought this person won't go through this again. To save energy, it put an emotional block in you with it's called need of approval. And you've been looking for that approval from people ever since. I'm sure you are wondering what the consequence of this are. What the consequence in a person's life who carries a blockage of need for approval? you will be scared. Lost of identity. By constantly negotiating your own value and opinion to please others, you distance yourself from what you really believe and want, molding yourself just to be accepted by others. Fear of criticism. For a people who constantly seeks to be approved by others, being criticized hurts much more than it hurts for others. In other words, the fear that other people's opinion will be contrary to yours is very strong. Difficulty to make decision, a constant struggle for someone who has a need for approval, is prioritizing other needs and desires over their own. Limitation on personal growth. This blockage can limit the personal growth as the person may avoid challenges and opportunities that go against social approval, even if they are beneficial for their personal development. In other words, even if in your conscious mind it takes perfect sense for you to say or do something, in your subconscious the blockage screams louder and you simply can't do it. Did you hear what I say back there? Emotional block is something that makes you act in a way that is contrary to what you really want. Do you want me to talk more about it? Having an emotional block of need for approval is so dangerous that it leads you to other blocks. Can I tell you the main ones? There are two: self-sabotage block and perfectionism block. Now, how I do know if I have an emotional block? Newton's 30 law states that for all action forces, reaction forces arise with equal intensities but opposite directions. In other words, everything in life has a cause and effect. Initially, you can only identify an emotional block by looking at the effects, looking at the consequences and traces that the blockage leaves. For a person who needs approval, there are several. The difficulty to say no is the first of them. Difficulty to make simple decisions, such as choosing a juice from a restaurant menu. Extreme fear of overreaction to being criticized by someone else. To need to do everything perfectly and not allow yourself to make mistakes even for a minute. Now, the million-dollar question in your life: how do I get rid of an emotional block? The first thing to do is become aware of what the blockage is. Without being fully aware for your attitudes and their consequence, you will never change anything in your life. After that, there are several safe people or techniques to get rid of this blockage. A psychological treatment, the application of the Andir technique, the application of activation. I want to share with you in another video how I got rid of lottery addiction by applying the Andir technique. But a few months ago, I learned how to apply the activation technique. I'm going to say goodbye, leaving you with a question, and I'm going to talk closer because I don't think you are not understand what I want to say. If even Beyonce, who is a person far above the average, carries or has carried an emotional block in her life, do you think you are free of blocks? Beyonce, I didn't mean to expose you in this video. My intention is to transform people's life and train the next generation to experience an extraordinary life. So please don't take it personally. But Beyonce, if this video reaches you, I know I can help you get rid of your possible emotional blockage once and for all, with full of discretion and respect you deserve. I'm Danilo Leão de Souza, and this is Ranigans.